Hello again, this is Josh LeVay Baird, and this is my editorial for legal and ethical issues, and I'm advocating for three recommendations to be implemented. In my professional setting, I believe we are on the right track. We are doing many things right. One can find and read our acceptable use policy, our mission statement on technologies, and the rules and consequences of adhering to our district mandates. There are many items we have implemented as a district, but we have much to do to bridge the digital divide. My editorial recommends three specific solutions to bridge the digital divide in my educational setting. Ask any teacher in any building in our district their ideas and input regarding FERPA, FERPA, the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. Ask any random teacher or administrator in our district their views on current technology and the privacy discussions regarding those technologies happening in our nation right now. Do the same for copyright, fair use, and the Creative Commons. What responses would you expect? I know in my 3+ years teaching in our district, I can tell you I have spent exactly 0 minutes of professional development or planning time discussing, learning, or receiving information regarding topics of technology and the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. In addition, as an educator, concerns of plagiarism and academic dishonesty is continually brought up going through our assessments and talking with other teachers with regards of how students literally copy and paste exact writings and samples created from other sources. Plagiarism and academic dishonesty is and has always been an important and ongoing problem in education. The laws, technology, and its copyright and fair uses, these are topics of great substance that need to be understood by instructors and staff. Knowing copyright laws, fair use, what that means, and the Creative Commons, along with the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, and understanding privacy and the concerns regarding technology and the frameworks of those technologies will help students understand more about being honest in an academic setting. I recommend three specific solutions to bridge the digital divide in my educational setting. First, I recommend a professional development, specific professional development dedicated to teaching teachers about copyright, fair use, and the Creative Commons and the FERPA law. It is imperative that educators know the laws and adhere to them rigorously. In addition, students and educators need to be lifelong learners and continually search for examples, stories, and research regarding privacy and technological consequences regarding privacy and individual rights and freedoms. It is imperative that we develop professionally and time and resources are used so that we understand those fields in a much fuller and more complete manner. Second, we need to understand basic and foundational rules regarding copyright, fair use, and the Creative Commons. I recommend creating a district-wide web page resource for ongoing discussion for educators to post questions and concerns about rules regarding copyright, fair use, and Creative Commons, and this will further assist our district in bridging our digital divide. A specific resource that I provided in part one of our life binder here is Ronnie Burt's The Educator's Guide to Copyright, Fair Use, and Creative Commons. He gives rules and important guiding themes for teachers to understand and adhere to. He spells it out quite simply, and for a busy teacher, it's easy to understand and adhere. Most important, his rules are: rule one, you can't use everything you find on the web, which seems to be understood, but it's not, and frequently that rule is broken. The second rule is there are resources you can use on the web, and this resource provided by Ronnie Burt gives, actual links. It also gives all kinds of examples of how you would cite that and where to find these resources to use. It has a quick, easy section to understand what is fair use and how does that kind of give us some flexibility when we're using rules, using the rules in an educational viewpoint. And it also tells what the Creative Commons is, a nonprofit organization in which we can share and use resources to facilitate greater learning and help in our scaffolding. My final recommendation is that instructors need to be aware of plagiarism and academic dishonesty using the technology of 2016. And specifically, we have to explicitly instruct students as to what proper academic honesty is and what is academic integrity. We also have to show and teach what plagiarism is. We have to tell students how to avoid it and what best practices demand for us as educators. According to Purdue Online Writing Lab, plagiarism is simply defined as uncredited use of somebody else's words or ideas. Think of the countless times you see students copy verbatim, word by word, straight from an online source onto their paper or into their document. It is necessary that students and educators can define what plagiarism is and actively avoid it. One of the many resources I provide addressing these issues of legality and the issues of ethics is a blog from the Learning Network. It is aligned with the New York Times, and it calls for students to teach, for schools to teach students that plagiarism in a digital age looks different than it may have looked in other ages, but it calls for specifically a plagiarism learning lab in which students discuss and analyze examples of student work and resources so that they can see exactly what constitutes as plagiarism and what does academic honesty entail. Academic honesty and integrity needs to pervade all instructor and explore and educator actions. As we educate students in our modern global society, it is necessary that solutions be agreed upon to bridge the digital divide and how students will approach these issues of legality and ethical behavior and actions using modern technology. Implementing my 3 recommendations. Once again, those are specific professional development dedicated to the copyright, fair use, the Creative Commons, the family education, and Rights and Privacy Act, as well as current ongoing issues of privacy. My second recommendation is to create a web page through our district web page to assist teachers, parents, and students in their understanding of these things, and so that they know when and in what circumstances and how to cite and use these various sources and information in their creations, blogs, and posts. My final recommendation is to explicitly teach students what academic honesty entails, and specifically what is plagiarism, and that spectrum, the continuum of academic honesty in regards to what is plagiarism, and whether it's intentional or unintentional, it is still plagiarism. Implementing my 3 recommendations will bridge our district's digital divide and better prepare our teachers and students to be active and engaged citizens in our global society.